"You're embarrassing for my influencer friends," my sister said. So I cut the power to her party and got her arrested for the fraud she posted online. Hey, I'm Sam, a 30-year-old guy who's known as the responsible one in my family. I've been working in construction for about 10 years now, starting as a basic worker at 22 and climbing up to be a foreman. The money's decent, but my back isn't too thrilled after all those years of heavy lifting. I was the guy who showed up every day, rain or shine, and my boss noticed. After 3 years, I got a promotion and now manage a crew that tackles commercial projects like strip malls and office renovations. Let me tell you about my family. My folks, Diane and Ron, are in their late 50s and 60s, and they're notoriously bad with managing money. Back when I was a kid, Dad worked at a paper mill, and Mom had a part-time gig at a dentist's office. We weren't rolling in dough, but we were doing okay. Then the mill shut down when I was in high school, and everything went downhill. Dad bounced around from job to job, while Mom went full-time. But they were already living a lifestyle they couldn't really afford, relying heavily on credit cards for everything from new TVs to vacations and car repairs. By the time I finished high school, they were in deep debt, but acted like everything was peachy. I couldn't swing college because of our financial mess, so I jumped straight into the construction world and stayed at home to help cover bills. My younger sister Lena, who's 27, is in her own league. She calls herself an aspiring content creator, but really, she just posts filtered selfies and unboxing videos for her small band of 200 followers. Last year, she blew $900 on some fancy ring light setup, talking like she's the next Kylie Jenner. Never mind that she spent 5 years getting a communications degree from a public college, taking an extra year because she couldn't make up her mind. After college, she lasted 8 months at a marketing agency before quitting over creative differences. Now she's in this loop of part-time retail gigs, crashing at our parents' place whenever she's between jobs and adding to their bills while chasing her brand. Lena even tried her hand at launching an online apparel business, but that bombed after eating up $15,000 of our parents' retirement savings. She compared high fashion to designer trash bags with sequins, and posted all these boss babe entrepreneur posts even as her venture was tanking. It was a real ride. She even tried to pull a fast one on me last Christmas, gifting me an Instagram shout-out package from her own account while I had splurged on the Apple Watch she'd been hinting at. She didn't take too kindly to my attempt at helping her business, claiming my practical ideas were stifling her creativity. 2 months later, she was drowning in complaints about her business, and I got a call with her crying about internet bullies. I drew the line there, and she gave me the silent treatment for a month, which was blissfully peaceful. My parents are totally on Team Lena. Dad got her a MacBook Pro for editing, which she mostly uses for Netflix, while Mom treats Lena's missteps like badges of honor. Anytime I suggest she get a real job, I become the bad guy. You just don't get the creator economy, Sam, they tell me. To me, that should mean actually creating something of value. But what do I know? Things reached a new low when Lena wrecked her car while texting. And instead of calling insurance, Mom called me with the Lena's too upset excuse. That's when I found out they'd downgraded their insurance without telling me, even though I was footing the comprehensive policy bill. Turns out, Lena's Instagram showed the money went to her business retreat in Miami, which looked suspiciously like a vacation. Since Lena's boutique fiasco 3 years ago, I've been their go-to financial backup, covering their mortgage whenever they're short, which happens a lot. Their place is just a basic 3-bedroom in an aging suburb, nothing fancy, and they could have paid it off by now if they hadn't refinanced so often. I also shelled out $3,800 for Lena's car repairs last year because she let basic maintenance slide. Yet somehow she made it to Coachella. My Uncle Joe, who's a mechanic, joked that she must have a death wish. Meanwhile, her Instagram was filled with yacht pics and some dude with industry connections. I've also ended up paying Dad's medical bills, amounting to $5,200, because he went for a pricier insurance plan, claiming the hospital food was better. He's got health issues that are manageable, but he won't take his meds or eat right. Every time I buy groceries, fresh veggies magically vanish, while junk food disappears. He complains to me about his doctor suggesting he lose weight and exercise. Mom's not any better. She insists on brand-name meds over generics, costing an extra $180 a month because of some online scare story, despite the fact they're the same thing. Tried to reason with her, and she accused me of being cheap about her health. Then she had me drive her around to find her preferred meds. I can recall this one time I was late sending them money for their power bill because I was laid up in the hospital. A beam fell on me at work, busting up my holder. Even while I was high on painkillers and trying to do a bank transfer with one arm, Mom only cared about when I'd make the payment. She called 4 times that day and didn't even ask if I was okay. I was just trying to keep up with everything, and it was insane. So I'm chilling in the hospital, not with comfort food or anything like that, but with papers. My water bill and property tax bill plunked down right next to my Jell-O cup by my lovely family. My mom started doing her math wizardry, figuring out how much I'd need to transfer once my workers' comp check came through. As if that wasn't enough, she griped about the hospital parking fees and suggested, oh so kindly, that I cover those too. Over these past few years, I've poured a whopping $42,000 into their lives, and that's a real number. I sat down one dreary Sunday and combed through my bank statements to tally it all up. Mortgage help, car payments, medical bills, debts, groceries, you name it. All this while I'm squeezing myself into a grimy one-bedroom with pipes that scream like banshees every time I flush. But hey, they're family, right? That's the line I kept feeding myself as my savings drained down to nothing. My little shoebox apartment sets me back $1,350 each month for just 680 square feet in a building that probably last saw glory in the Reagan era. Sure, it's in a nice spot, close to work, but its so-called amenities are laughable. A rusty treadmill and a couple of dumbbells in what used to be a closet serve as the gym. And the pool's always out of order because of filter issues. This is the best I can do while bankrolling 2 households. My buddy Chris kept saying I was being taken for a ride, but I always brushed him off with the classic, they'd do the same for me. Deep down, I knew they wouldn't fork over $50 if I needed it. Chris has been around since high school, witnessing me bleed money for the family. He even tried staging an intervention once, spreadsheets and all, showing me how I could have bought a house by now. I was furious at first, gave him the cold shoulder for weeks, but eventually came around when I realized he was just looking out for me. Chris's warnings hit home last Thanksgiving when I got slammed with a 103-degree fever. I called Mom to say I couldn't make it to dinner, figuring she'd be worried sick. Her response? But who's going to carve the turkey? Your dad's wrist is still sore from golfing. No concern for how I was doing, just panic over turkey duty. I dragged my feverish self to dinner, sweated through the meal, and ended up spreading the bug to everyone. Dad, always one with the gentlemanly grace, whined 3 days later that I ruined his holiday. The game-changer call came in June. It was a sweltering Wednesday evening, and my apartment felt like a sauna. The AC was on the fritz again, with Terry, the maintenance guy, promising it'd be fixed tomorrow for weeks. I was sprawled on my couch in basketball shorts, chugging ice water, when my phone lit up with Mom's name. My backup window unit was barely holding up against the 94-degree heat, rattling like it might fall apart any second. After enduring a brutal 12-hour day overseeing a concrete pour, I was beyond exhausted. "Hey, Mom," I said, thinking she needed groceries or something. "Sam," she chimed in with that fake cheery lilt of hers, "just wanted to let you know Lena's throwing a big pool party for the 4th. We're covering everything." By we, she meant me, since I've been chipping in $600 monthly for Lena's townhouse rent, as her income from social media gigs is spotty at best. Covering everything was code for me getting a request for party supply cash soon enough. I waited for an invite, but it never came, so I asked if I should bring anything. "Oh," she chuckled awkwardly, "actually, Lena doesn't want you there. She's got influencer friends coming and, well, doesn't want her less successful family showing up. No offense." I nearly choked. Seriously? After everything I've done? "Don't be so sensitive, Sam." Mom brushed it off. "It's her big networking chance. She can't have you, in your work clothes, talking construction stuff. It'd ruin her image." I glanced down at my faded company t-shirt with a little tear, wondering if this was what Lena was so embarrassed about. The fact that I had a real job? "Mom, I'm living in a tiny rundown place because I'm paying for your bills and Lena's rent. I gave her $3,000 last month," I snapped. That cash was supposed to fund some Instagram guru's course promising to unlock her career's next big step. I had to delay fixing my truck's transmission to cover it. A week after, Lena posted pics of a new designer purse with #self-investment. When I asked about it, she claimed it was borrowed for photo shoots. But after some digging, I realized her friend didn't even exist. "Well, that's on you, Sam. Nobody forced you to do any of it. Lena needs it for her career. Don't be selfish," Mom retorted. Angrily, I ended the call and jumped into my banking app. I'd sent them $9,800 in just 4 months, and let's not forget the $1,500 I just blew on a deposit for a family lake house getaway. This was supposed to be a surprise. A place with a fishing pier for Dad, a fire pit for s'mores, and enough room so we weren't tripping over each other. My finger hovered over the cancellation link, recalling that #self-care Sunday post where Lena was lounging on some guy's boat, flaunting self-care while I was surviving on ramen for the 3rd week straight because of bailing Mom out with property taxes. I clicked cancel, knowing a refund wouldn't make a dent in this mess. For the first time in forever, I let the anger seep through. All those missed nights out with friends because I was always broke. The vacation days sold back for extra cash that went straight to their expenses. The dating attempts that fizzled because I was either strapped for cash or constantly interrupted by family drama. Like that time with Rachel, the amazing architect from work. Lena called 5 times over lunch about being locked out of her Apple account and needing my password for some urgent Instagram Live. Needless to say, Rachel never called back after that fiasco. The next morning, I hit up my cousin Jake, who works at the electric company, with a "Yo, need a favor" message. "Hey, can you do me a favor?" I asked when Jake answered the phone. He immediately noticed, "What's up, man? You sound ticked off." Jake and I were tight back in the day until my family's financial issues pulled me away. Jake had landed a solid union gig right after high school, snagged a comfy house with his wife Tara, and now had 2 kids and a dog. Pretty much the stable life I could have had if I wasn't always rescuing my family from money problems. So I unloaded the whole situation on him. I've been helping them out for years, thousands of dollars gone from my bank. And now I'm not Evie, and allowed at our family's 4th of July bash because it could mess with my sister Lena's influencer vibe. Jake was like, "That's messed up. Your sister's always been a user, but your folks should know better." I had a plan, though. Jake works in the scheduling department at the energy company. And with summer heating up, they were already prepping for brownouts due to all the air conditioning usage. Jake just needed to make sure my parents' area had a maintenance outage during their big 4th of July bash. Jake laughed when I explained it, That's wild, dude. I love it. I'm in. You sure I won't get in trouble? I asked, suddenly feeling a bit guilty. Nah, these outages happen all the time in summer. I'll just tweak some calendar stuff. Totally routine paperwork. No one will question it. I also hit up my buddy Luis, who works in HVAC. His company handles the maintenance at Lena's townhouse complex. Are you sure about this? He asked after I filled him in. Just text me when you want it done. Luis agreed to push back the repair order for Lena's AC, which was already struggling. Nothing risky, just making sure it wouldn't be fixed before her party when it would surely fail in the heat. He'd just move her repair ticket to the after-holiday weekend pile, which was no biggie given all the emergency calls they get during heat waves. Over the next few days, I played it cool. Dad called needing $200 for party supplies, which I sent without a word. Mom emailed about borrowing my coolers for the party, and I gladly dropped them off. Lena didn't hit me up except to ask if I could boost her party posts. What nerve! Meanwhile, I started planning for my own independence. I called my bank to remove my parents as authorized users on my backup credit card, which was supposed to be for emergencies, but turned into their everyday card. I changed all my passwords and even called my phone carrier to kick Lena off my family plan. I had been footing the bill for her unlimited data for years. The customer service rep asked if I wanted to notify the removed line. Definitely not, I said. Let her find out the hard way. Jake swung by my place the day before the 4th with a drink. All set for tomorrow? He smiled. Man, this heat wave is supposed to be brutal, gonna hit 97 degrees. Yep, perfect timing. On July 4th, my social media was flooded with Lena's pool party prep. Mom was setting up food platters. Dad wore a goofy grill apron, setting up patio furniture that I'm pretty sure I bought at some point. Lena posed with her pals by the pool in her new swimsuit. Everything screamed happy family time. They had fancy steaks, gourmet charcuterie boards, and fancy desserts. Decor was on point, with balloon arches, personalized banners, and even a photo booth with props, all for Lena's networking gig. I noticed the pool floats from my Amazon account. They had accidentally been delivered to my place last week before I sent them to Lena. She'd ordered $300 worth of inflatables on my account and didn't even mention it. She even claimed a second-rate influencer with 5,000 followers was at her party. So blessed to have @Lifestyle by Jenna at my exclusive pool gathering #networking #blessed, she posted on Instagram. I spent the day at a baseball game with Chris, phone on silent. We had epic seats near third base, bought a jersey, splurged on drinks and nachos, and even had some dessert. So, are you really going through with this? Chris asked. Yep, I replied. Tonight's the night I stopped being their safety net. About time, he said. What are you going to do with all that money you'll save? I hadn't even thought that far. Maybe I should start saving for my own place, or finally take a proper vacation. Heck, I might even start dating again instead of bailing early when Mom calls about the water bill. To financial freedom, Chris toasted, lifting his cup. When we got home at 11:45 p.m., my phone blew up. Mom said, Sam, the power just went out on the whole block. Call us back. Dad chimed in, Son, we need help. Power's gone, and it's hot as hell here. And Lena? What the hell did you do? The power's out, and all my influencer friends are leaving. My makeup is running. I casually scrolled through the messages, thoroughly enjoying each one. The satisfaction was real. Lena freaked out. My fridge full of party food is gonna spoil. This is thousands of dollars. Mom pleaded, Sam, please call us back. It's an emergency. Dad added, the neighbors say the power company won't have it back up till morning. Then came the social media posts. Lena's Instagram story read, Worst night ever. Power outage ruined everything. The universe is testing me. One of her friends posted, Thanks for the sweat fest, Lena Stiles. Maybe check your electric bill next time. LOL. Another chimed in. Some exclusive event. Couldn't even keep the lights on. Fail. The satisfaction was sweet. Then I turned off my phone and had the best night's sleep in years. No family emergencies to worry about tomorrow. No stressing over how much I could spare this month. Just pure, dreamless sleep. The next day, my phone had 47 missed calls, 23 voicemails, and 89 texts. I skimmed through them with a huge grin. The power had cut out at Lena's just as the party was in full swing. Jake had set it up so their block was mysteriously low priority for getting the power back after a glitch. By midnight, the temp was still in the 90s, and everyone had bailed on Lena's dark, overheated house. Her awesome pool party ended with warm drinks, melting ice cream, and a bunch of sweaty, grumpy people. But that was just the start. The AC had totally failed at 10 p.m. right before the power went out. Luis confirmed that the emergency repair team had some scheduling issues. Without AC or power, Lena's place turned into a sauna. And from her panicked texts, it was clear most of her influencer pals fled within an hour of the outage. So, we were all just grumbling about the heat and the blackout, when one of Lena's messages really hit home. She was like, "I've lost all my credibility because of you. Lifestyle by Jenna unfollowed me, and she was supposed to feature me in her next collab." It was a total nightmare for her, getting unfollowed by someone important, considering her follower count is mostly bots. Meanwhile, my folks were trying to save the day with some battery-powered candles, but it was too late. The food was going bad, and without music or any fans, the party was a flop. My mom's texts went from pleading to straight-up threatening. She actually wrote, "Your father's blood pressure is through the roof because of this stress. If anything happens to him, it's on you." By 2 p.m., there's this loud bang on my door. Dad's there, red-faced and sweating, with Mom and Lena right behind him. He was all, "The power's still out. We lost the lake house." "Irreservation! What did you do?" I'm just leaning against the door frame, enjoying the cool air from my perfectly working AC. They all looked rough, like no one got any sleep. Lena looked like an angry zombie with her frizzy hair. Mom's makeup was smeared, and Dad's shirt was drenched in sweat. I threw a bit of sass their way. "Guess I'm not good enough for your party, but I'm good enough to fix your problems, right?" Dad didn't find it funny at all. He barked, "It's 95 degrees in that house. Fix it now." I stepped closer and said, "You know what's not funny? Being treated like garbage after I've been covering for everyone financially for years." Lena exploded, pushing past Dad. "You did this on purpose. You ruined everything. I had real influencers there. This could have been my big break." I just laughed at her and said, "Oh, you mean the girl with 5,000 followers who sells fake handbags out of her mom's basement? Yeah, sure, I'm embarrassed." She snapped back, claiming I was jealous because she's building something while I'm out there swinging hammers all day like a caveman. I asked her what exactly she's building, debt or delusion. Since she's never earned an honest dollar in her life, I pulled out my phone and showed her my banking app. Want to see something interesting? I scrolled through all the money transfers I've made to her, hundreds and thousands here and there. That's $16,400 to you alone, Lena, not even counting what I've given Mom and Dad. Where's this building money coming from, huh? My caveman job. Mom chimed in, "Sam, that's enough. How dare you talk to your sister like that after everything we've done for you?" I snapped. "Everything you've done for me? Are you kidding? I've given you $42,000 in 3 years. I live in a dump while Lena flaunts a luxury lifestyle in a house I basically pay for." Lena just rolled her eyes and asked if she could use my shower because she had a sponsored post to shoot and looked like crap. I couldn't believe her nerve. I was done with this nonsense. "Get out," I said. "All of you, get the hell out of my building." Mom was shocked. "What do you mean, get out?" "Get out! I yelled loud enough for my neighbor's door to crack open. "I'm done being your wallet. Figure it out yourselves." Lena hissed, "You're going to regret this. You're dead to me," as Dad pulled her away. I slammed the door, shutting out their protests. The next morning, I called my bank. I froze the joint account I shared with my parents, the one they occasionally dipped into, changed all my passwords, and deleted my card from Lena's Apple account, which she was using for her business expenses. I went through my auto payments and canceled everything: utilities for my parents and Lena, Lena's phone bill, even the extra insurance I was paying for Dad's car. Felt like I was cutting off chains with each one. The total monthly savings? I was bleeding $1,076.45, over $2,000 every month, funding their lifestyle. I called the utility companies for both my parents' and Lena's homes. Turns out I'd been put back as the guarantor on both accounts last month, probably because their credit is shot. My phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Lena complained, "My Netflix isn't working. Fix it now." Mom asked why she couldn't access the emergency fund account. Dad texted saying, "Son, this has gone too far. Stop it now." I ignored them all and instead booked a flight to Bali. Yep, for 3 weeks. I was leaving this Friday. Something I always wanted to do but couldn't afford because I was always bailing them out. I even got a real travel agent to help me snag a sweet deal on a beach house. "First big vacation?" she asked when I paid the deposit. "First vacation where I'm only paying for myself," I replied. The whole trip was going to cost me $4,300, less than what I usually spent on the family in a month. By the afternoon, the family group chat was blowing up. Mom said, "I can't believe you do this to your own family." Dad was like, "After all we've sacrificed for you." Lena weighed in, "This is fine. Hope you enjoy being alone forever." Then my cousin Jake called, "Dude, your family is telling everyone you abandoned them. Your aunt even called me, asking if you had a mental breakdown." He told me they were spreading rumors that I freaked out for no reason, cut them off, and was super harsh. Meanwhile, Lena was posting teary messages about toxic family members and how money changes people, with hashtags like #InnerHealingJourney. Her followers were showering her with love and stay strong messages. I laughed and told Jake to send me her posts. She was in full victim mode, saying it was hard to cut off family, and blaming jealousy for her success. The best part? She was posting all this from her healing retreat at the local Marriott, room service receipts clearly visible in her Instagram stories. I have no idea how she went from broke to affording hotel stays overnight. Jake confirmed that my parents had moved in with Lena temporarily until they sorted out their electricity problems, milking the victim card with relatives to get sympathy cash. My aunt apparently sent them $500 after hearing their sad tale. I didn't say a word. Let them do whatever helps them sleep at night. They're out of my life now. I spent the rest of the week ignoring their calls and getting ready for my trip. I bought new clothes, a decent camera, and some hiking gear. All the stuff I always wanted but never got because I was constantly solving someone else's crisis. Then on Wednesday, my neighbor caught me in the parking lot and said, "Hey man, your family was here again earlier, banging on your door for 20 minutes. Hey, is everything cool?" They looked pretty mad. "Sorry about that," I replied. "Just some family stuff going on." My dad had texted me on Thursday night, right before my trip. He said, "Your mom cries herself to sleep every night. Hope you're happy." So for the first time in forever, I shot back, "Actually, I'm happier than I've been in years. I'm flying to Bali tomorrow. Don't contact me." Then my mom messaged almost right away, "You're going on vacation while we're struggling? How could you be so selfish?" So I blocked them all, finished packing, and ordered a nice meal for myself. For once, I wasn't stressing about money or their next drama. Nope, I was finally on vacation. You won't believe the craziness that happened while I was gone. I just got back, and what I found at home blew my mind. I never thought a single vacation could turn into such chaos just because my family couldn't let me have some peace. Buckle up, because this story's wild. First off, Bali was amazing. 3 weeks of beaches, hiking, tasty food, and, best of all, no family drama. I went totally off-grid on social media so they couldn't track me. For the first time, as an adult, I was completely unavailable to them. I met some cool people at my resort, like this Australian couple who were shocked it was my first time traveling. There were tons of funny moments, but that's not why we're here. So when I got back home, I turned my phone on after weeks. As expected, bam, hundreds of missed calls, voicemails, texts, and emails. I deleted everything without a peek. Whatever mess they created was their problem. But something felt off when I got to my apartment complex. The front desk guy gave me a weird look and said, "Glad you're back, man. Your family's been causing scenes here almost daily." Great, just what I needed. When I opened my door, I knew something was up. Someone had broken in. Drawers were pulled out, my closet was a mess, and furniture moved around. Then I remembered my mom guilt-tripping me into giving her a spare key for emergencies years ago. Totally forgot about that in the rush to leave. My laptop was gone, but it wasn't just missing. They took it, messed with my files, and brought it back. My filing cabinet was all over the place, important papers scattered, and my social security and birth certificate were gone. But the worst part? My $10,500 emergency fund was missing from the fireproof box I kept it in. The key had been in my sock drawer, which was completely ransacked. I quickly checked my credit report. 4 new credit cards opened in my name, 2 maxed out, and even a loan application underway. They stole my identity while I was having the time of my life in Bali. That's all it took. I immediately reported the theft and fraud to the police, then called my bank. Luckily, I set up 2-factor authentication before leaving. They tried to break into my account, but couldn't get past the security that sent codes to my phone overseas. The bank flagged the attempts and tightened up. I spent the next 3 days in panic mode, alerting credit bureaus, disputing charges, and documenting everything. My identity theft protection program confirmed my worst fears. Everything was done from my parents' IP and on Lena's laptop. They didn't even try to hide it because they didn't think I'd fight back. I called my cousin Jake and told him the whole story. He was quiet for a bit, then said, "They've been telling everyone you just abandoned them. Your mom's really playing the victim on Facebook, talking about medical bills and struggling. Bet they didn't mention robbing me or the identity theft?" I asked. "Shockingly, no," he laughed. "Oh, and Lena's been bragging about teaching you a lesson about family loyalty." Perfect. The next week was spent securing everything, new locks, cameras, and gathering all the evidence. Then I got a text from Dad. "We need to talk. Family dinner tomorrow night. Be there or I'm calling your boss." Nice, moving on to workplace threats now. I didn't reply but warned my supervisor. He just laughed, saying, "Let them try. Your work speaks for itself. Thanks for the heads up, though." Instead of going to the family dinner, I went to the police with my evidence. The investigator said, "This is open and shut. We'll make arrests within 48 hours. And true to her word, Dad and Lena were picked up the next day. The beauty of living in a small town, nothing stays hidden. Lena's social media blew up when her college friends heard everything, realizing her fancy lifestyle was funded by theft and fraud. My parents' friends distanced themselves all as news spread. I won't bore you with the legal rigmarole, but in the end, their defense was laughable. We were just taking what he owed us for raising him. The judge and jury didn't buy it. My parents got probation and had to do financial counseling due to their clean records, But Lena wasn't so lucky. Her past shoplifting and laptop evidence got her 18 months, and her drama about ruining her influencer career didn't help. The best part? They have to pay back everything they stole, plus damages for the identity theft. Now, I get a monthly check from them. How's that for karma? I'm planning to move once my lease is up, looking for a place with decent security and no extra keys floating around.